Hello! Sorry it's been a few months. I intended to make a video sooner and I didn't, but I'm going to try to see if I can get two videos out today. If not, I'll just do the one and we'll get the other one. Will be next week if maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. But uh, I've been busy with work, with life, but also with some more projects. So I'm going to introduce you guys here to one today that I spent the majority of the entire rule set. Most of it was made in a day, and then I did some like editing here and there. And we've only play tested this once, but so far it's been pretty fun. So I'm gonna introduce it here to you guys, get people's opinions on things, for how things are going, for how they think they sound like, and if people are interested in possibly play testing this game that I'm working on, then I'll have a link to my Discord in the description where I can set up a section for people to look at Arboreal for the playtest link. I spoiled the name there. Look at this game's little playtest link and be able to see what its deal is. We sort of see what it's about. It's a pretty small one, so it's really easy to quickly get into. But let's go ahead and start getting into what this is. So this is Arboreal TTRPG. It is a small book that I was working on because I wanted to make a TTRPG that's simple and easy to get into, easy to make a character for, and that had some more unique things about it. So I was trying to figure this out, and I ended up landing on a TTRPG where it doesn't have any classes, but the whole thing is based on the fact that it uses a skill tree for all of its features. So like as you're leveling up, you'll get more points to spend on this skill tree to buy your features that you will be getting. But yeah, so essentially this whole premise is the fact that the skill tree is this whole main thing. There's 4 races in this: just human, which is your humans. There's demi-humans, which will be things like your elves, your dwarves, your other things that look like they're humans, but like look close to humans, but not quite. There's going to be the non-humans. That's going to be things like your dragonborn, your tiefling, your other things that are humanoid in shape, but do not look like humans. Which finally then gives us to our final race called the Other, which is just called Other, which is like your things like robots or straight up things that are not humanoid at all, things that are more like creature-like. But the point of this whole system is this is a system that can fit into any era setting you want it to fit into. If you want to play high fantasy, you can play high fantasy. If you want to play sci-fi, you can play sci-fi. If you want to play modern with no magic, you can do so. And it still works all with the exact same skill tree. Now, yes, as I was saying, this was something that I had made in a day, and I've done not a lot of editing to it. So this is not something that is prone to be fully done, but it's something that I think can do great. But so let's talk a little bit about this, how the skill tree is. The skill tree has 3 main trees with 3 sub trees that are connected between the two trees together. The 3 main trees are sword, knowledge, or battle, knowledge, and influence. Where battle is going to be things like using weapons and armor and shields. Your knowledge is going to be using what's called special weapons, but essentially if you're doing high fantasy, this will be special weapons would essentially be you using magic. But then doing sci-fi, this would be like sci-fi futuristic weapons, or in some case for our playtest one being like psionic abilities because of human experiments done on someone. But it is using weapons to make it simplified, to see how that works. Then influence is going to be your support-based abilities, things that allow you to increase an ally damage or whatever and be able to help both your allies or help your allies hinder your enemies, do things like that. Our 3 sub trees, they're smaller than the normal trees, are going to include the Battlemaster tree, the Doctor tree, and the Commander tree. Battlemaster tree is the tree that is between the battle and the knowledge. So it allows you to manipulate both your things with your physical weapons or your special weapons to do additional things during combat. Good. The doctor tree is between your knowledge and your influence. So that essentially, doctor is your healer. So if you want to have someone who's playing a healer, they will probably have to step into knowledge and influence to pick up their doctor skills. You don't have to get both. As long as you're connected to one thing, you can grab it. Then the commander tree is between battle and influence, which that's a lot more of actually being a commander of your allies and having a little bit more battlefield control in terms of different things. I don't want to go too much into it because, this is early on. Things are subject to change. Ignore that. That's just my mic holder. So that's how the majority of it works. The whole system is not super high hit points. It uses the battle map, but the battle map's simplified. It's just 2 3x4 rectangles that are face to face, in which you will choose on a player side and an enemy side, and they will be able to. Each one can move around to try to fit the different ranges for their weapons, or to separate away from each other if something has an area attack. That's the majority of it. There is some unique death rules with this, though. Because it uses a skill tree, I wanted to have some fun with it. So, whenever a character hits 0 hit points in Arboreal, they have 3 options. One is they can choose to gain a scar and just go unconscious. Gaining a scar means that, well, it doesn't really mean much at the time, but the moment you gain a sixth scar, the character dies. So, scars are essentially the safe option, but if you keep going with the safe option, eventually it will kill the character. There is another one where you do a last stand, where you instantly, when you hit 0 hit points, you instantly take a primary action, which no matter what you do, you will automatically crit on doing so, which we'll get into how the dice rolls work right after this. And the final one is the one that's the most interesting from what I've seen from the party, is called Burn the Candle, in which you will remove something from your character. You will either remove a character's important memory, remove a character's important bond, reduce one of your stats permanently by 1, or you permanently remove one of your features from your skill tree, or one of your skills. As such as at the level like 10 character, or I think level 10 character usually have 11 points. So you have 11 points to buy your features. If you burn a feature at that level, you now have 10 points, and you lose that feature. It doesn't mean when you level up later you can still re-grab that feature you lost, but essentially you lost one of your points. But if you burn the candle, you stay up at 1 hit point. So, risk reward there, depending on how things work, but this is yet again, all very subject to change. This is something I made quickly because I wanted to, because I wanted to have a fun little... I wanted to make a fun little system that works for anything, and it's easy to do for one-shots. It can also be done for long-form campaigns if people want them to. So, I'm going to go ahead and get into how rolling works in this. That's pretty much what we're going to go over for this. So, rolling in this is a multi-d6 system. You will roll a number of d6s equal to the stat that you're trying to roll for. So, like, physical weapons will use body, which your stats are body, mind, wit, or body, mind, will, and soul and spirit. So, doing a body roll, which is used for weapons, you will roll as many d6s equal to that stat number. Your goal is to try to get a 6. A 6 is a complete success. A 4 and a 5 is a partial success. And a 1, 2, and 3 is a failure. If you're doing actions and you get a failure, you entirely fail the action. You don't succeed in what you were trying to do. If you get a partial success for whatever thing you're trying to do, you will do the thing you were trying to do at a cost, whether that be for spending more time than you would like to spend, or if you injure yourself in the process of doing so. A complete success means you do exactly what you wanted to do as you intended to do it. For the most part, they won't be able to do some ridiculous feats if the DM doesn't want them to do that. In terms of attack rolls, a miss is just a miss. A failure is just a miss. A partial success is half damage. A complete success is full damage. The way crits work in this is for each for each six you have more than one. So like if you roll, say 4 or 5d6 for your attack roll, and you get 3 sixes. If you get 3 sixes, that means you had 2 more sixes than you needed to get a complete success, which means you add 2 damage to the damage roll. So for each number of sixes you are past 1 for that attack roll, that is how many additional damage you will deal with that attack. Only attacks can crit, because at that point, success is still a success. Getting more of them isn't going to change much unless the DM says it does super well. But yeah, so this is the premise I kind of have for Arboreal TTRPG, which gets its name off of the skill tree. Arbor kind of gets its name there. Let me know what you think about this kind of whole concept and idea. If you're interested in trying to playtest it out with your friends, join my Discord down below. I will be putting in a room in that server specifically for Arboreal, for the actual Google Doc I have of it, and then as well as the Google Doc of it, I will also have a different room for notes that people would have on different things. I expect notes. I've only was able to playtest this once for a Halloween one-shot with some friends. So I expect notes if people are interested in this. And if not, that's also fine. I'll figure it out myself. I'm having a lot of fun with that. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this, and share this with friends who would be interested. Share this with your group if you think it would be fun to try out some different TTRPGs that could work for like a one-shot or whatever. Thank you for watching and have a good one.